What's up, guys? I got the keys here, back with another video. I know I've been gone for a little bit. I was vacationing and having fun and living my life, so I just didn't have the time really to make videos. I was at another person's house. But I wanted to say that if you feel like you're stuck or you feel like, everything is not really working in your favor, I want you to know that this is when we're really being prepped for everything we have coming to us, right? It's, a lot of the times when we feel like giving up or we feel like there isn't something greater around the corner, there really is. And it's really you testing yourself to see, if you're really up for that challenge. Are you really, have you really surpassed what you've been trying to learn, right? And what you've been trying to remember. And I want you to know that, time heals things, and to take your time, because this is a journey, right? This isn't a race. And, all in divine timing. And I keep telling myself this because I'm going through my own personal stuff right now, right? And a lot of the times we don't see the blessings in the hardships, in the struggle. And because we're stuck in the ego in that moment, right? And we're like, oh, how is this going to work out? How are we going to figure this out, etc. But the thing is God already has everything figured out for you, right? And so when you tap into the higher self and you see that everything is perfectly perfect how it is, right? You're not behind. You're not, you're not something that other people aren't, okay? Nobody else is ahead of you more than you are in your life, okay? I want you to realize that as much as it may seem like somebody else is doing better, they're going through their own personal things. You might not see their struggles, right? And this goes for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, how successful you are. We all face things alone, okay? And those things are prepping you for everything that you have coming and the things that you've been asking for, right? You have to become that person to have those things, right? So like me, I've been really focusing on changing my life and changing who I am. Not my ego, but changing who I am internally, right? And really looking at what do I really want out of life, and understanding that sometimes the things that we want even isn't what we really want, but what we need is a different thing. And we always get what we need. So I don't know if you ever noticed, but you seem to always be taken care of one way or another, right? I mean, I see these videos of, these people that they help people, they give them money or whatever if they're homeless or et cetera. But, and some people like try to downplay these people because they're recording it. But guys, they're recording it and making money to do more of it. So is it really a bad thing? And I understand that, exposing somebody that's being homeless, I see how that can be, taken as a wrong thing to do. But at the same point, they're coming from a really, really heart-centered action, right? And they're just trying to do their best to help others. And so when you can see that, in that moment and understand that they're not doing anything wrong, right? They're also on their own mission, right? And we don't have to judge other people. The more you judge other people, you're judging yourself, right? So it's like we're not behind, guys. We're not like this. This is not a race, right? You are on divine timing, and all you need to do is trust and keep flowing with life. And I know that can be really fucking hard. I understand that. I know life isn't easy. I know it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We have to go through shit, right? But all that shit that you're going through, I promise you, is prepping you for everything that you have coming to you. And I don't know if you guys have ever just looked into your past and realized that everything you asked for, you already have right now, right? You're experiencing it now because you manifested it then. But even though there is no then and now, right? It's all now. Okay? So that's the time delay, right, that we have because we're experiencing a 3D reality of time, right? And so manifestations take time here in the physical, but everything is instantaneous, in the spirit realm, right? Everything that you're manifesting and becoming, you already are. And that's why we get lost sometimes because we're forgetting that we already are everything. We are everything that we ever will need, right? As long as you are breathing, you are conscious, you are aware of yourself, then you're doing great, okay? And that's all that matters, okay? There is no like, oh, like this is one thing I see a lot is like people will say, oh, you're behind because you're not using paraben-free shampoos, you're still vaping, you're still smoking weed, you're still drinking, etc., right? Now, I understand that some of these things can put you behind, yes, but that doesn't make you better than somebody else. And they're on their own purpose and they'll find that out in their own time. So telling somebody that they're not spiritual because they do, something in the physical world is stupid. And I think we need to stop doing that. Like, oh, you don't, if you eat meat, you're eating suffering animals and blah, blah, blah. And this makes you feel terrible about yourself, right? And like, yes, I understand to a point. Yes, you're killing an animal, right? But is it not the same thing when you eat a plant? You're killing that plant, correct? So what I'm trying to say is people will judge you no matter what you do and how you do it. So like, you know what I mean? You have to go with your own, your own intuition and your own flow. There is no wrong or right. Now, everything has consequences, yes. So like obviously eating meat can make you more dense. It can be a heavier energy, right? So yes, a balance is key. There's nothing wrong with having meat. There's nothing wrong with having some fish. Okay, these are high protein. And I'm not saying you can't get protein from vegetables and whatnot, but there needs to be a balance. And I mean, like, there's going to be some people that can't eat meat, and that's fine. You can find an alternative or whatever, but for whoever's on this journey and like, they have people telling them they shouldn't be eating this or they shouldn't be doing this or, whatever. It's like, come on, guys. And I understand there's people that are really trying to help and they're actually, they're just giving advice. They're not saying you have to do it, but they're saying, hey, this helped me and it could help you. And I understand those people. That resonates with me. But trying to tell somebody that they're not this or they're not that because they do something is ridiculous. And, God sees everything they're doing too. And God understands why they're doing it. Okay. So, that's one thing that we really should stop doing, stop telling people who they should be, how they should be. Like I said, you can give advice and you can drop seeds. That's fine. But telling somebody who they should be and how they should do something is beyond me. Now, like I said, I can give my advice. I can give my light to somebody else and understand that they might not resonate with everything that I say, but they'll take whatever that they did resonate with and use it in their life. Okay. You have to understand that everybody's on a different level of consciousness. And so they can only see certain things from their consciousness. So like, if I'm dropping all of these word riddles and stuff that I do, some people don't get that, and that's okay. They're not in my level of awareness to understand where I'm coming from, and that's fine. But there might be something that still they catch on to and they can use it in their life, right? But like, there's so much more to life than worrying about how much, what kind of deodorant you're using, what kind of shampoo you're using, uh, you know, this, that, and the other thing. It's like there's so much, guys. Everything can hurt you, okay? And like, yes, I'm not saying not to take precaution. Like, yes, there's things that you can change and make your life better, but do that slowly, right? I'm still learning. I've changed my diet. I've changed the supplements I take and the stuff I use on my skin and, whatever. But that took me time. That took me time to really understand and get there, and to, get over the lackful beliefs about stuff, like, nutritional stuff is more expensive, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying it can't be, because yes, it is sometimes. Obviously, buying organic stuff, they tend to up the prices on those things. But when you really have a mindset of abundance, none of that shit matters anyways. And it's like God supplies everything I need, no matter what. And God's doing the same for you. So I'm hoping that this really helps somebody, because I know I've been going through it the past day or two. Just trying to see, my blessings and really understanding that everything is perfectly perfect, right? Like we get offers of stuff, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and we're like, oh, well, fuck, like, what am I going to do now? But the thing is you're worrying about it in that moment, and that's ego, right? The ego wants to know why. The ego wants to know how. The ego wants to know where. It wants to know all these questions. But your higher self knows what it's doing, and it's leading you towards a better thing. So, like, a lot of people will say redirection is God's protection, right? And it's true, because, let's say you're driving home one day and, I don't know, you take a normal route, right? And let's say that route is blocked off today. Why was it blocked off? There has to be a reason, right? And so it's like, maybe God's telling you, hey, let's take this other way home. I have something to show you on the way, right? It could be something like that. For instance, a job, okay? A job could say they're hiring you, right? And then they'll text you the day of that you were supposed to, go in, and be like, oh, well, actually we're going to have to either wait or, cancel that, which is fine. But it's like, what the fuck? And in that moment, you're like, damn, like, I was really, thinking this was going to be it. But sometimes there's something else even better right around the corner. And we're not seeing that because, we're in the physical, right? But, I just wanted to make this video to inspire somebody. Hopefully this gets you out of a funk. Hopefully you can see your blessings and truly see where you're at right now, and understand that you are perfect. You're doing it just fine. Okay? There's nobody that's ahead of you, and you will figure it out on your own time. Okay? So with that being said, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.